Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to RadioSilentPlay.com. I am your moderator for today on Sunday, January 24th, 2016. Let me start off by saying I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence before trading any stock or options. Trading stocks and options require lots of risk. Okay, again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We pretty much do these Sunday webinars. We try to do them every week. Sometimes we'll have a day off, and I'll just post on Fridays whether we're going to do the webinar or if we're not. So I'm going to go over basically what the major markets is pretty much showing us. I pulled out a couple of charts, and I want to just explain to you what these charts are. Last week, I mentioned to some of the traders, we were looking at this McClellan oscillator, and I told traders, okay, every time this thing hits a bottom, you'll see a jump in the markets. And if you notice here, I said, don't fall in love with the downside. Okay, I talked about a pending bounce in the markets, and those that don't trade the options, they panned out quite beautifully. It was a little bit nerve wracking because we didn't know where the bottom was, but we were able to scalp the Qs, which is the NASDAQ 100. I'm going to go over that trade in a little bit, and also the Apple trade. We saw some stocks in the energy sector also bounce. So what I want to explain here is every time you saw this thing hit this line or this trend line, you would see a market bounce. If you notice here, this is a chart of the SPX or the SPY, and every time you saw this thing kind of hit or touch this red line, you saw a nice bounce. Okay, if you notice here, okay, we tested this level here, and now we're seeing a bit of a bounce. So I do think there is continuation, okay, in the markets. So again, we're not going to be. I always tell the traders not to short near support. You never want to short into support. I do expect some upside. Okay, so this is the McClellan oscillator. When you want to look at this, all you gotta do is just look up this chart over here, this dollar sign NYMO. Okay, and I'll post that later on. I think I posted it on the group me chat. Okay, so that was pretty much this one. And now what I know a lot of people are thinking about buying or getting into oil. Okay, this is Iran's crude oil production. Okay, I don't know if a lot of people know, but this is kind of old news. But Iran's crude oil production is going to be significant now because they just ended sanctions. So with that said, a lot of people saying that this is the end, okay, or a bounce in oil. I don't think this is the bottom. Okay, if you notice here, okay, they're going to start producing or releasing more oil supply, and with less demand, you're talking about lower prices. So this I know we're getting a bounce in energy, but at the same time, you want to take into consideration that we still have a lot more supply and less demand. So even if the markets bounce, I'm going to show you an ETF of pretty much of oil, and I'm going to show you what I think is going to happen with oil. So with that said, okay, I'm showing you the XLE. Okay, this is the ETF for oil. Well, we talked about that ETF. I said, we were going to look for that 50 level to kind of hit before we went low and or enter a position in oil. And if you notice here, we actually tested that 50 level. We actually hit a low on January 19th of 49.87. From that level, we saw that bounce. I said, that was a key level that we were going to look for was that 50 level. We hit a low of 49.87, and then we bounced. What we're looking now, this is still in a considerable downtrend. What you want to see for a reversal confirmation is a close above that 57.37 level. Okay, so I want you guys to pencil and write that number down. That 57.37, okay, is that 21-day moving average. What you want to see is a close confirmation above that 57.37 level, okay, on two consecutive closes to confirm the reversal in oil, okay, and then you will have resistance into that 60 level. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that. I would not be surprised for this level to kiss and then start rolling over. Okay, you are still in a significant downtrend, and like I said, okay, you still have Iran putting out more supply in the oil market. Okay, so just watch that kiss of this 57.37 level, and this may be a shorting opportunity on oil. Okay, so I want traders to understand that we aren't out of the storm hasn't ended. I think for oil, I do feel that we will have lower prices, and I just don't think that we are ready. Okay, at the same time, there are some trades, and there is some continuation on some of the trades, but at the same time, those that are in SWN, on USO, a couple of options that triggered, I want you to ensure you lock profits on the way up. Oil is a type of trade that pre-market, you know, you end up not selling it, and the very next day it's opening like 3 to 6% down. So I want traders to kind of understand that sentiment. Okay, if you look at the transports, okay, this is in a significant downtrend as well. Okay, this constitutes what the global GDP is doing. There's much slower growth. Okay, it is bouncing with a dead cat bounce, but you still are in a bear flag here, and you're below significant resistance level. So I want traders to kind of understand that yes, we do have a potential for a continued bounce, but I don't want traders to kind of fall in love with that with the upside. Okay, you want to kind of like pencil in where's your resistance level so you can kind of gravitate towards your entries and triggers. Okay, moving on. I talked about the IWM. It was pretty much the weakest in the markets. You did have a bounce off that 95 level. Okay, we did short this level about a week ago, and it just played out beautifully. Now you're seeing a dead cat bounce. I'm looking for that 105, 107 level. Okay, I'm looking at this 21-day moving average. Any move up to this blue line is going to be a shorting opportunity. I think that 104.95 to 107 level with a stop close above 108 2 times will be a nice trade. If you don't want to buy those puts, okay, look for that TZA. Okay, that's inverse to the IWM. So traders, what we're going to look for on the IWM is any move up to that 105 kiss to 107 is going to be a shorting opportunity. Okay, so that's a shorting level for the IWM. It is the weakest of all ETFs. Okay, it is weaker than the SPY, and it is weaker than the Qs. So I want traders to kind of look at that 105 kiss to 107. If you guys do, then you can go long the TZA. Okay, so we will go long the TZA or we'll short the IWM. Okay, so that's something that we want to look at. Another thing is oil. What we want to see oil is confirm using the XLE. Okay, and we want to see a close above 58 2 times. That's the confirmation. Or if you have a failure or a kiss, we will go short oil at that range. Okay, so I want traders to kind of keep an eye on the XLE. Now I'm going to go over pretty much the SPY. Okay, I'm going to go over the SPY right now. If you notice, the SPY had a nice jump off this double bottom here. We talked about this double bottom kind of filling, and it actually tested this level. It saw a low of 181.02. Okay, and then you had a significant bounce. This is what you call Elliott wave. I don't know if many traders kind of followed up with our Elliott wave patterns, but Elliott wave patterns usually work in 5 waves. Okay, so we have wave one, which was that top here back in November. Okay, that October November high, and then you kind of pulled back, and then you attempted that wave two to see if you could possibly break this level. Okay, you didn't. So this is a shorter wavelength. And now you see the longest wavelength, which is always wave three. And now what you're witnessing now is a potential wave four. Okay, the wave short will be that 194 level to 197 level. That's going to be your shorting range. I did a $3 range there because I wouldn't be surprised for this 194.24 level to get kissed. And where did I get that number? If I connect this pivot low on between August and September to this pivot low here on September, October, it matches this area right here at that 194.24 level. So what we're gonna look is we're gonna grab 50% of our entry, okay, and then we're going to look to grab some more at that 196.70 level. So I'm looking to start garnering a position or a short on the SPY from 194 to 197. Okay, so 194 to 197 on the SPY. That's going to be your levels that you want to kind of look at. Okay, what is that telling us now? Okay, that we have some support here at that 188.40 level to 190. Okay, so traders that want to go long, okay, can go long at that 188.40 level. Okay, just simply place your stop close below 187.50 if you're gonna go long. But I'm looking more for that short, okay, at that 194 level to 197, and then my stop close is gonna be a close above 198 on 2 consecutive closes. And why do we say that? Because that's where our 21-day moving average here is at 196.67. If we close above 198, you're talking about a potential move up to 202 to 205 level. We don't want to get stopped out, or we don't want to keep holding within that range, because you have a lot of room to move up. Okay, but this is key resistance here. That 194.30 level to 197 level is key resistance. Okay, I think that's where that wave 4 is going to kind of hit this level and then continue lower. Okay, the markets are still in a bearish sentiment. I feel that we have hit a potential top. If you notice, a lot of the banks are flustered. If you come over here and you look at the, let's just look at, let me see if I have. If you look at the XLF, okay, this is a banking stock. Okay, if you look, we've broken significant support here on the weekly chart. We've broken this flag. If you notice here, this is head and shoulders pattern. This is shoulder, left shoulder, head, and then you have that shoulder, and you broke the neckline. So I want traders to kind of just understand these levels and why we're looking at these levels. Okay, we are in a bearish sentiment on the major banking stocks. Okay, I want traders to kind of keep an eye on the XLF. Okay, because any move back to that 22 to 23 level on the XLF will be a shorting opportunity. Okay, so you never want to short, okay, near support, but you want to see that pullback in order for you to take that short. So keep an eye on the banking stocks. The banking stocks have or are in a bearish sentiment. Now I'm going to move over to the option setups for this week. Okay, any questions on anything that we've covered thus far? Any questions on anything that we've covered so far? Okay, this is energy stock here, CLR. Okay, what I'm looking for, if you see here, you're kind of setting up a little bit of a bearish topping tail. But what I'm looking for is a potential kiss of this 21-day moving average. It did kiss it at 21.19. And if you notice here, we closed at 19.50. I kind of noticed this a little bit too late. But any move up to this 22.23 level is going to be a shorting opportunity. I'm thinking that 21 to 22.50 with a target potential of 16. So I put the March 18 strikes at 17. I'm looking at 80 cents to $1.20. My stop close is going to be tight with a close above this level here at 24. Because if you break above this 23, 24 level, this could test that 26, 27 level. Okay, so this is our setup. What I'm going to look for here is any kiss above this trend line. If you kiss this trend line, we're going to grab a position, okay, and then we're going to look for that 2-day confirmation close. Okay, so I want traders to kind of look at that level here on the CLR. We're looking at that 21 to 22.50, and I'm looking at that March 18 puts here on the CLR. Okay, next ticker symbol is the Russell. As I mentioned, this is one of the most bearish ETFs out there. I'm looking at the IWM, this 21-day moving average, that 106.80 level to 107. I posted here 105. I think that 104.95 may get tested If we get there, I may grab a starter here and start adding up to that 107 level. Okay, if it does get up there, okay, I'm gonna look to start grabbing a position up here, and then looking for my target at 95. I'm gonna put I'm gonna look for the IWM, the strike prices at potentially 100 to 102. Okay, so we'll look at those contracts. I didn't place the setup here on what contracts I want to look at until it triggers, because I don't want people jumping in too quickly. Okay, I want traders to kind of be patient with these ETFs. Okay, the next one too is the SPY. Again, I didn't post a contract because I want traders to be patient. Okay, we're looking at that 194 to 197. If you do hit that 194 to 197, okay, you can grab or go long the SDS calls, or you can go short via puts. Okay, our stop close is going to be tight above that 198 on 2 consecutive closes. Okay, the next setup. Oh, this is another chart that I wanted to kind of show you guys. If you notice this pivot high or this pivot low here in 2009, and you connect it to this one here in 2011, 2012, you kind of started putting in a nice uptrend. And if you notice here on this monthly chart, we've closed above this key level. Okay, that 21-day moving average right now is at 194.50. So that 194.50 is major resistance in the markets right now based on the monthly chart. Okay, monthly chart and the daily chart correlate. So I want traders to kind of understand that level. We've broken that level there at that 194 level. That's going to be a key level to watch on the SPY. Okay. And the next one is the TLT. This is the flight to safety trade. Okay, if you notice, a lot of traders um, that start getting panicky towards the markets, what happens is you get people starting to move their money into a little bit of a safe haven, and that's the 20-year treasuries. If you look at the 20-year treasuries, we've broken above that 21 and 8-day moving average. I took some off the table here. I did add above that 125. We saw that hit of 128. I locked profits, but now I'm looking to enter the TLT again. I'm looking for that 21-day moving average and 8-day moving average. So watch that TLT pull back to 122, 123. Ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised for this thing to test that 135 level. Okay, so our target one is going to be 127, target two is going to be 128, and our potential target is 135. If we close, okay, below this 121.80 level, we're going to simply stop out of the trade, okay, because you have some downside down to 118. Okay, I don't want to get stuck, so we're going to be tight. Okay, I put that stop close below 120 2 times. Okay, the next ticker symbol is a ticker symbol HYG, and what the HYG is basically junk bonds. Okay, there was a report that the next big problematic sector would be the junk bonds. Okay, the junk bonds right now are in a serious downtrend, and we're about to kind of test this trend line here. If we do manage to hit these levels, it's going to be a good shorting opportunity. And why is that? Because if you look at here on this monthly chart, okay, and you connect these these pivot lows, you're going to see that you're kind of setting up around the top. Okay, and you've closed below, okay, that key level of that 82.91 level, and that's your 8-day moving average. So now you're trading on the monthly chart below two key levels of support, and that's that 82 and 85 level. So we don't have any support, not that much support, down to 70 to 65. So you have a lot of room here. Any weakness in the markets, and you're going to see the HYG pretty much collapse. Okay, so keep an eye on the HYG. I'm looking for my target one of 77, target two of 75, and a potential move from 70 to 65. Okay, keep your stop close tight at a close above 81 on 2 consecutive closes, and I'm grabbing the March 18 puts for strike 76. I think we added 92 cents. Okay, so we're looking to add from 60 to $1, and my stop close is going to be a close below 50 cents. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And this is a trade for the Qs. If you notice here on the Qs, we actually triggered this last week. I sent it via SMS at 97 to 98 cents. If you come over here on the Qs, this was just a beautiful trade for traders. Okay, we actually closed at or near the high of the day at 103.70 levels. So this was just a beautiful trade. This gave us an opportunity to enter as low as 97.50, and this was sent out 97 to 98, and we actually triggered at 82 cents. This was just a beautiful trade, and that was at February 19 calls. Okay, so if you come over here, also, what triggered was the Apple. On the option triggers, we gave this 95.50 to 97.50. This actually triggered at 90.50, 95.50 on the spot. Gave us an entry as low as 94.40, and it was just a beautiful trade. I entered the stock at $1.44, gave us an opportunity to enter as low as $1.15, and right now the contracts are trading as high as $3.25. And this was 93.50 to 94.50. Okay, it hit a low of 93.40. I'm sorry, it hit a low of 93.40. So gave an opportunity to enter as low as $1.15. Okay, our target one was met at 100, and we actually hit our target two 101.40. Okay, I want traders to make sure that you move your stops to break even, and what we want to see is this thing hold. Okay, next target should be 105 to 108. Okay, just a beautiful move here on the Apple. This was just an easy trade, I feel. Okay, for the Apple, just to kiss these levels and now bouncing off this trend line. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go over next the small caps. Any questions? Any questions on the setups that I've just spoke about? Any questions on any of the setups? Okay, no questions. Moving on to the small caps. Okay, these are some energy stocks that are kind of holding some significant patterns. First ticker symbol is NETE. Okay, it's currently trading at 21 cents. If you notice here on the weekly chart, you're kind of posting in a bullish inside flag pattern with a support at that 1250 level. What I want traders to kind of look at is that the trade is now trading above that 21 and 8-day moving average here at 17 and 21 cents. What you want to see is a potential close above this 22 level. And if you do close above this 22, 28 level, you could see a retest of this 40 level. Okay, at the same, with that said, you don't want this stock to kind of close below this 21-day moving average. So what you want to do is, if you are adding a position here, just make sure you use a tight stop. Okay, I'm looking at that 15 to 18 cent kiss being cheap. Okay, mark target one is going to be 24 cents. Target two is going to be 27 cents. Ultimately, if it does close above that 28 on two consecutive closes, could see a high of 40 cents. Keep your stop closed below that 12-cent range, because if it does close below 12-cent range, you could see a double bottom here down to that 4-cent range. You don't want to have that much risk involved. Okay, next ticker symbol is ticker symbol FCX. We did take a position here on options. Okay, I am looking at that $3.50 double bottom here. Okay, $3.50 to $4. Make sure that you use a tight stop close below $3 and two consecutive closes. This is Freeport-McMoRan. It does trade with oil. This is a copper stock. Okay, if the stock breaks above that high of 470, okay, 470, you want to see this stock close above 470. If it does close above 470 on two consecutive closes, I do see this testing that $5 to $6 range again. Okay, simply place your stop close below $3 on two consecutive closes. Okay, next ticker symbol is the DRWI. If you notice here, DRWI isn't a significant downtrend, but you're looking to kind of potentially break above. Okay, this stock actually kissed that 13 level, which makes this kind of look like a topping tail here. Watch any pullback down to 6. Okay, this will be a nice bounce opportunity at that 6 range. So I'm looking at that 5 to 6 range, and I'm looking for that target bounce to 8 to 10 cents. So this could be a 50 to 100% move if it kisses this trend line again. Okay, every time it kind of kisses this trend line, you'll see a bounce. Okay, next ticker symbol is the BLDP. Okay, this stock actually bounced and gapped up. Okay, look for that confirmation close above that $1.36. If it does, then it could test this $1.60. If not, watch that pullback down to this 120, 110 to 120 level. If you do, you can add somewhere near this range and then simply place your stop close below a dollar on 2 consecutive closes. That should be significant potential there with good risk reward. Okay. Next one is the UWTI. If you notice here on the UWTI on the weekly chart, you actually posted in that that bottom here, $1.50. That level held. Watch that confirmation close on the weekly. You want to see 2 weekly closes above that $2 range. If you do get close above this $2.23 range, you could see a nice reversal here to that $3 range. That's about 50, to 60% probability here. So keep an eye on the UWTI. You may see a continued reversal or a rounded bottom here. Okay, next ticker symbol is BBEP. Okay, this is Brightburn Energy. If you notice here, Brightburn Energy closed above that 21 and 8-day moving average on the daily chart. Any pullback back to this 60 level will be a buying opportunity. What you want to see this thing do is close above that 75 cents on 2 consecutive closes. If you do, wouldn't be surprised to test that 85 level. Okay, so I'm looking for any pullback down to that 58 level. If it does kiss that 55 level, 50 level, you want to look at that level too. I wouldn't be surprised for this thing to test that 75 to 80 level. Okay, that's pretty much it. Some of the stocks that kind of did well last week, off reversal. I know we were talking about the HK, didn't hold that retrace level. Some of the traders took that trade when it broke that 50 level down to that 25 cent level. Then we actually saw 100% from that 25 level. So that was a nice move off the HK. Another one that's kind of looking for a bottom is this PRSN. Okay, PRSN didn't hold the levels last time, but if you notice here, now you're posting in a 50% retrace from that entry. Okay, watch for that level here. Okay, you could see a 2-day confirmation here. That 60 level, that 0.06 level held. Okay, if you want to add somewhere around here, just simply place your stop close below 6. Okay, so this level did not hold. We stopped out of the trade. I know I did. So now I'm looking at that 6. It's a 0.07 level, and now I'm going to place my stop close below 6 2 times. Okay, so that's the new setup here for the PRSN. Okay, so I know some of you guys traded the GPSN. I know the GPSN kept on pulling back, and if you notice here, now you're kind of settling in a bottom here. Watch that potential retrace here on the GPSN. Okay, that level here at that 10-11 level held. Okay, that 12 level was that support. Watch that potential second day close above that 8-day moving average at 22. That's what you want to kind of see this stock do, is kind of consolidate, kind of close above that 8-day moving average at that 22 level. Okay, so any questions on any of the small caps that we've gone over? Any questions? These small caps can be found on the mobile app. If you go down to the small caps buy zones, you'll be able to see those there. Okay, if anything triggers, I will send it via mobile app. Okay, so next, going on, we're going to move on to the OTC weekly watch list. Any questions on anything that we've covered so far? Any questions on anything that we've covered so far? Okay, no questions thus far. Okay, so I'm going to go over a couple of stocks last week that triggered. Okay, first ticker symbol, this is through the trading journal. I actually triggered, I had a bid in at 12 to 15. I actually added at 12, 13, and 15. Some of the stocks that I did add at 12 and 13, I did lock profit on the way up. But if you notice here, we were talking about that 12 to 15 buy zone, and it actually triggered at 12, 13. We actually hit a high after that at 21, and now we're trading at 19. So keep an eye on this, because every time you kind of hit this bottom trend line, you'll have a nice bounce. Okay, so watch this. Right now, there's an accumulation here at that 12 to 15 range. I wouldn't be surprised if we test that 0.003 to 0.004 level on the APYP. This is why I post a watch list. Okay, sometimes what you want to do is you want to kind of place your bids and see where your bids get hit. If you do end up getting filled on your bid, simply place your sell order on a 60-day sell order, and then or a good to cancel. What that ensures is if you're not by your computer, the stock can always sell. Okay. somebody had watched one of the videos on YouTube and they mentioned, you're just talking about price action. The way we trade is basically with support and resistance. If I'm putting a line of symmetry here and I see a pattern, what I want to do is I want to add somewhere or at or near support level to ensure me a risk reward ratio. What does that mean? I want to take minimal risk and I want to have maximum reward potential. If the stock closes below my 12 on two consecutive closes, I simply get out of the trade. So if I'm buying between 12 and 15, okay, my stock or my stop is going to be a close below 12 on two consecutive closes for the entry that I added at 15. If I added at 12, I'm simply going to place my stop close below 0009 on two consecutive closes or 10, depending on my risk assessment. Okay, the way I look at this is basically mathematics. If I have a potential for this stock to hit 0.003 to 4 and I'm buying from 10 to 15, okay, I like that risk reward because I'm taking on a 30% risk in relation to the reward of 200 to 300% if this thing hits 0.003 to 0.005. Okay, I'm not looking at basically, I may look at some indicators, whether it's the ADX or I'm looking at accumulation, I will. But at the same time, most of these trades that I take is basically based on patterns and pretty much lines of symmetry and supply and demand levels. Okay, what do I mean by supply and demand? If I notice that every time this stock hits this trend line, okay, that's pretty much where the demand is. Okay, if there's a long wick here and the stock bounces, that means that there's more buyers here. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that sentiment. Next ticker symbol that was triggered last week was the PFSD. Okay, this stock triggered at 0009, then hit a high of 12. Okay, there were some sellers at 12 levels because that's your new 8-day moving average. Okay, you're still in a considerable downtrend, but if you notice that probability level is still holding. Okay, if you would have added at 0009, you might have been able to sell a little at 12. What you want to see is that support level at 0009. And when I posted that level 2 on the GroupMe chat, there was considerable support at that 0008 level. So traders that were adding at 0009 were safe to simply place their stop close below 0008, their biggest support. And that's pretty much about 10 to 15% risk in relation to reward. Why do we say that? Because if we notice, if we're adding here at or near probability level, you're adding at 0008 or 9, and if the stock rallies between 12 and 16, you're looking at a potential 40 to 100% move from that 8 and 9 level. Okay, last move that this stock did, okay, it hit that tested at 24 level and couldn't break above it. If this stock can manage to hit 24 again, you're buying this at 9. You're basically taking a risk of 20 to 30% to make about 130%. Okay, and that's in relation to that previous pivot high of 24. Okay, 9 plus 9 is 18 plus another 5 ticks, that's about 130%. So you're taking on 30% risk to make about up to 130%. Any questions on that sentiment? How we kind of constitute these levels? How we come up with these levels? Okay, so there's no questions. Okay, good. I'm gonna go over the GNPT. This was a stock that actually stopped out for us. Okay, this stock stopped out because there was a lot of panic on raising authorized shares, which I thought wasn't that much. You saw this big gap down. Okay, see this gap down here? This was December 28th when everybody started talking on Twitter and on the GroupMe chats that this thing raised authorized shares. It had closed at 15 and then opened all the way down here at 0008. I actually sent out an alert at 0008. Then the stock bounced and then it kind of hit that 0.0011 level. It couldn't hold that, came and we lost that support level at 10. Whenever you lose support, what I tell my traders to do is to look for that 50 to 61.8% retrace. And if you notice here, okay, you saw a low of 0005. This thing triggered again at 0005, consolidated, never closed below that level. Yes, it did have some shares on the ask, but if you notice, the stock released news and then put up a beautiful bullish inside flag pattern, and we actually saw a high of 16. Now you're seeing this stock kind of consolidate above it and now closed above this 21 and 8-day moving average, okay, on 2 consecutive closes. Okay, so you do have confirmation there. Now what you want to see is that potential break above 16. Why? Because we just filled this gap. Okay, and that was a beautiful move. Okay, if you would have added at 0005, was it a little bit risky adding at 0005? Yes, it was, because the stock could have gone no bid. But if you look at the 50% retrace, okay, and you simply place your close or your stop close below, let's say 0005 on 2 consecutive closes, you're taking about 25% risk in order for that gap fill. From 0005 to 15, a gap fill, that's about 200% risk to 25%. I'm sorry, 200% reward to about 25 to 30% risk. Okay, that's pretty much how I trade as a trader. Does it take a little patience and time? Yes, it does, because when this thing kind of triggered here at 0005, it took about a month. Okay. Next stock is the BTFL, kind of doing exactly the same thing as GNPT. This was a stock that actually lost its support. We talked about that 50% retrace. Okay, that support was there at that 14 level. If you notice here, we actually kissed that 0008 level. This actually triggered for me. I added here at 0008 and 9. My stop close is a close below 0008 on 2 consecutive closes. If it does close below 0008, 2 consecutive closes, I simply exit the trade and then simply place my bid at 0045. Okay, because that's my strategy. All right. And now, if you notice here, this stock actually closed at 10, hit a high of 11. So what we want to see is a close confirmation above that 12 on 2 consecutive closes. If you do get that close above 12 on 2 consecutive closes, now you know that that 8-9 is a safe level to add. Okay, so that was, I think this is a good move. If you look here, PPO and the ADX setting up for a pincher play, and this is a weekly chart, so you have a lot of potential room. If you have a big break and we start breaking above this 16 level, you could see that 22 to about 30 level. So you're taking, let's say, if you're stopping below 0008, if you're buying 8-9, you're taking a 30% risk to make 100 to 200% move if this thing hits 0.002 to 0.003. Okay. The next ticker symbol is AHIX, ticker symbol AHIX. Okay, this was a good move from the levels that it was basically an ATM move. First move was 11 to 42, pulled back, hit a low of 15, then rallied to 43, pulled back, hit that low of 42 after that pivot break, then you hit a high of 0.0117, pulled back, hit a low of 0.0035, then hit a 0.0055. We needed to hold that 23 level. It did kind of kiss that 1920 level, kind of tested or tried to break out, couldn't. And then you saw that loss of that 0.002 level. Then you lost that 0.0014 level. Then you lost that 11 level. So low of 0007, and then it hit a high of 14 for 100%. Now it's kind of struggling in that downward trend, and you could see a continued move lower. If you're in this stock, just make sure that you use that 0.001 support. Okay, if it does break below 0.001, make sure you exit the trade with a stop close below 0.001. If you want to add it back, just look at that 0056 level for an entry. Okay, the RBNWE, this was a pretty good trade. Again, it was a line of symmetry trade. Every time it kind of kissed this level of the downtrend, it would just bounce. And if you notice here, we took this trade, I think it was at 0.0021. Then it rallied, hit a high at 38 over here. Couldn't hold that level, couldn't break above it and test this green line. Then it pulled back. I sent it out via mobile app, also threw it on premium Twitter. We actually traded at 12 to 15, and now the stock hit a high of 38. Tested this pivot. What we want to see this thing is break above this pivot high here at 38. If you can close above 38 2 times, I wouldn't be surprised for this thing to test 0.006 to 0.01. Okay, it did announce news. Okay, they have a production sales that's anticipated of exceeding $1 million. Okay, so that was a good move. The BVAP, Same thing. The stock triggered last week. I think it triggered a low of 10.11, hit a high of 0.002, and right now we're at a rinse and repeat level. Okay, and then the Cove hit a new low of 0006. When this stock was sent out, it hit a low of 11 to 14, then hit a high of 29. Traders have to lock profits on the way up. Okay, I can't reiterate how much that the markets are showing traders locking profits on the way up. If you're up 30, 40, 50%, scale out. If you want to add it back, you can always add it back. The Woji did the same thing. Hit that 10 level, 11 level, hit that high of 24 and just could not break that level. So I just want traders to kind of understand how these trades work. It's not that we're pumping and we're dumping. It's that when you lock profits or when you're adding at a good entry and you're not locking profits on the way up, you're leaving some money off the table. If the stock pulls back, then you just simply add again. Okay, you want to ensure that these stocks break pivot. Okay, pivot, what it is it's basically resistance. You want it to confirm that resistance in order for the stock to kind of break higher. Okay, and now let me just give you an analogy. It's like basically the way you trade stock is like you're a FDNY firefighter or just a firefighter in general. If you go to a building and they tell you that the strongest floor is the 12th floor, okay, and the fire is on the 20th floor, then you want the firefighters to kind of assemble or be near that 12th floor because that's where your strongest support is. Now, if that fire starts coming down, right, and it starts hitting that 12th floor, and now that 12th floor is not a good level, okay, to be on, what floor are you going to be on next? Okay, you're not going to be down on the 11th floor. You're not going to be down on the 10th floor. What you're going to look is for to go down a little bit lower. Okay, that's because you want to get onto a stronger support. What Fibonacci retracement or what retracement is, you simply lose support, and then what you do is you go down to the next support. Okay, that's what traders are in understanding. And I want traders to understand that sometimes those levels aren't as accurate as you want it to be. Okay, because I'm going to go over a couple of stocks now, which we thought that was going to be the case, but it wasn't. Okay, so the main thing is just being very tactical on your entries. Okay, entry is very, very important, but at the same time, you can't always feel or think that you're always going to pinpoint that bottom because it just doesn't work like that. Okay, first one on our list for this week is ticker symbol RDAR. This was a stock that announced news last week. I saw that it kind of wanted to kind of break, but it didn't. I did notice that this stock lost that 0.005 support. Okay, and I was looking for that retrace down to that 25 level. There were some traders that were bidding at 0.003. The stock ended up hitting a high of 0.0048, but then closed at the low of the day at 35. Okay, there were a lot of selling the day prior. There was about 5 million trades sold on the 21st. So I want traders to kind of understand that 5 million shares were sold. Okay, it opened at, I believe, 0.0058, and then the stock ended up closing at the low of the day below its 52-week low. Master support, which I believe was 0.0052, if I'm not mistaken. Then the stock closed the very next day at 32.33, announced news, and then the stock closed above that 0.0032 level. So that 0.003 for now is your support. Okay, so watch that 25 to 35 level. If you start seeing no bid down to about 15, 20, 25, then that's where you're going to simply place your bid. I do think that this stock, especially with the sentiment right now, it may test at 15 or a kiss at that 0.002 level. So just watch the levels here. Okay, you want to see this kind of consolidate and maybe see where your biggest support is at. Right now, I'm thinking that at 25 to 35 may be a range you want to look at. Okay, it did lose its 0.005 support. 50% retrace from that level is 25. If you go 61.8% retrace, you're going to look at that kiss of that 0.002 level. Okay, so watch that level down to that 1725 level if it does get there. They did announce news that they were going to air something on PBS on the Cronkite News Show. Okay, so I want traders to kind of look at that level. Next ticker is in a bottom box pattern. I did notice that there was some volume here on Friday. Okay, there was a little bit of a gap on the level two. I didn't snapshot the level two on this one, but I did notice that there was a gap. Don't start chasing stock. Okay, what I noticed here is that this stock held that 0.003 support. It did kiss that 25, but it did hold that 0.003 support. So not many shares were traded below that 0.003 support. That's why I'm placing that stop close below 0.003. So watch that entry between 0.003 to 0.004. If you're adding somewhere at or near that range, it's pretty much a safe range because it's about 15 to 20% risk. Okay, and then simply place your stop close below that 0.003. And why do I say that? I know it hit 25, but it never closed at 25. So it did close at 30. So I'm looking for this thing to hold that 30 support. If it doesn't, and if you don't see a bid on there, what I want to do is go 50% retrace from that 0.003 level. That's going to be about 15 range. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to look at that level 2 and see where that biggest support is. If the stock does close above 0.005 on 2 consecutive closes, okay, then you may take a bite, but then place your stop close below this level here, this close, and that's that 48 level. If you're adding somewhere between 0.004 to 5, simply place your stop close below 0.004. You just adjust your stop, okay, based on your entry, okay? Or if you want to grab a 50% entry of your intended investment, if you're investing $600 and you want to grab some $300 there, and then on any pullback add a little bit more, you can always do that. Okay, so what we're looking for is this pivot break above that 0.0076 level on 2 consecutive closes. If you do, you could test this 0.018 level or this 0.019 21-day moving average. Okay, next ticker symbol. This was a ticker symbol that I was looking at, that 0.004. I've been looking at this stock for quite some time now. I was looking for this thing to kind of break down. I had a bid in here at 0.002 that immediately triggered. When that triggered, I actually sent it out, but I told traders to kind of watch because VFin and BVAP, VFin and another MAL-MM was on it. So I was kind of looking at that 14 to 17 level, and this actually kissed 15 level. I don't know if traders kind of added on there, but this actually triggered for us on January, like that week of January. I believe it was like January 20th or 21st. Okay, so the MXSG right now, what I'm looking at is that any buy zones from 15 to 20, okay, 15 to 20. If you notice here, I posted the level 2. Your biggest support here was at 17 and 18. So if you're adding 19, 20 to 22, simply place your stop close below the biggest bid support here, and that's that 17 level. So that ensures you about 30% risk there. Okay, so place your stop close below 17. I put a stop close here below 15 because I added here between 16 and 20. Okay, my remarks, the stock's 50% retrace level from 0.004 was 0.002. It triggered an entry. It saw a low of 15 and then bounced closing at 24, the high of the day. Watch for the key break of 0.004. I think if this thing breaks 0.004, you may test at 0.008 to 0.016. So you have a lot of upside here. With metals kind of bouncing here, I think that the MXSG should do well. Next ticker symbol is TPNI. This was a ticker symbol at first that we were looking at that 2025 level. Never really confirmed close below this this bottom here. Okay, if you notice here, this bottom kind of held, kissed that level here at 15. Then it kind of bounced, hit a high of 20, I believe it was like 22, 23. No, it actually hit 24 off that 15 level. And now what we're looking for is 2 confirmation closes above that pivot high of 24. Okay, so if it does, I'm looking for a pivot break of 56 after that. So kiss 15 level, never confirmed the stop close below 0.002 on 2 consecutive closes, which it never closed below that level. Okay, watch that level 2. The strongest support right now, if you look here, is that 18 level. Okay, that's where you want to kind of place your stop close if you want. And if it doesn't hold above that, then we're going to look at that probability entry from 8, 9, and 10. Okay, next ticker symbol is add a rinse and repeat. Watch that 21, this 8-day moving average bouncing in or moving into that 21-day moving average. I do like this stock. It is a low share structure stock. It's been an ATM. Okay, it first rallied from 12 to 23, then pulled back to 14 to 2. Then it pulled back, hit 16, hit a high of 0.004, and then it pulled back to 11 and hit a high of 0.002. And now we triggered. We triggered a re-entry here at 11 and 12. I actually added this last week at 12 again. So my stop close is a close below 10, two consecutive close. That ensures me with a 30% risk. Okay, next ticker symbol is the EMBR. The reason I added the EMBR was basically this 0005 was a huge bid. This actually triggered here for us at 0006, and now we're seeing the bid-ask ratio. The bid is increased significantly above that level, and this is a pattern trade. If you notice here on the EMBR, see if I got that trade. This is a pattern trade. Every time it kind of hits this level, you actually see this thing bounce. Every time it hits that 7 level, you get a bounce. 7 level bounce, 7 level bounce, 7 level bounce, and right now we're triggering it again. And we actually bought this a lot cheaper now. We bought this right here at that 0006. Watch that second day consecutive close above that 21-day moving average, which is 7. If you do close that, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we start testing this again. Okay, and that's 12 to that 20 range. So you're seeing a nice upside here on the EMBR. If you come over here on the EMBR, okay, EMBR, I always like looking at these. It does have a stop sign, but if you notice here, average volume, it is a liquid stock. Okay, you come here to the news. Okay, as of January 5th, 2016, you only have 300 authorized shares. So that's pretty current. I don't know if they've raised shares, but I do like the fact that it has just 300 million authorized shares. Okay, so that's basically it for the EMBR. If you look here at the weekly chart, okay, you're looking to close above that 21 and 8-day moving average at 9 and 8. You could test that 15 to 23 again. Okay, next stock is ticker symbol COBI, Kobe. Okay, this was a stock that actually triggered for us at 0009. Okay, pivot here is a pivot close above 15. I noticed that there was a huge support here at 0009 as well. We actually triggered at 9 because when I sent it out, this actually gave us an opportunity to add as low as 9 because there was a whack on the bid and traders were able to enter at 9. The ask was at 11. I do think that this stock has potential of 15. If we do break above 15, you're seeing a high potential from 25 to about 30. Okay, so you do have some upside here on the COBI. It does have a pending reverse merger, so this is a post-reverse stock split holding major support at 0009. If you notice here, this is your big support level, awaiting a reverse merger news update, and looking at the chart, could break that 15 level, go to 25 to 30. So again, probability trade from 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 30% risk to make 100 to 200% move if the stock hits 0.0025 to 3. Okay, so that's a pretty good, significant risk reward. Okay, next ticker symbol is the AMLH. This has been, I think, an ATM. Last time it gave us an opportunity to enter as low as 0078. Okay, the stock rally hit a high of 16, then pulled back, gave an entry at 89, hit a high of 16, and now it's back in that pennant. Okay, all you need to do is place your stop close below 0009 on two consecutive closes. Okay, and that's pretty much it. A couple of memorable mentions here is the CEGX. Okay, this is a stock that we've traded before. Watch that 21 and 8-day moving average. You're actually trading above that 21 and 8-day moving average here at 34 and 38. So watch that support here at that 34, 38. If you want, okay, you want to be cheap, you want to add somewhere near this trend line, but I think that this stock can break this level here at that 0.0069. If you do, you have a potential upside to 0.01 to 0.015. So keep that CEGX. This is a stock that we've traded before. We alerted it. I really never put it on the watch list, but I think that if this thing kind of kisses that 30 level, 26 level has been that support, it has held, it could bounce from that level. Okay, simply place your stop close below 0.0025 on two consecutive closes. Okay, so I'm looking at that what's it called, that pullback here to 0.0034. If you can kiss that 0.003 level, I think it's a good entry. Okay, next ticker symbol is the BBRD. If you notice here, another one, you're trading above that 21 and 8-day moving average at that 0.003. If you could kind of enter somewhere at this kiss of this bottom trend line, okay, I wouldn't be surprised for us to kind of test this level at some point here at that 0.004 to 0.006. So watch if this thing actually kisses this bottom here at that 0.002 level. 52-week low here is at 16. Okay, so if you want to place your stop close below 0.002, you can. The next one that I talked about was the PFSD. You got some good support there, and it isn't a downtrend, but you want to see the stock close above 12 on 2 consecutive closes. If it does, wouldn't be surprised for us to test that 16 to 24 level here. So that's your 21-day moving average. Next ticker symbol was a sticker symbol that I saw post news. I posted this on a scalp. It really didn't do anything, but I did notice that this was a stock that I had a couple of bids on. I do think this is a stock that is worth watching. It's a ticker symbol GPXM. If you notice here, okay, it's kind of holding that probability trade. It closed at 12. You're seeing that 21 and 8-day moving average here at 12 and 13. Watch these levels somewhere around here. If it does, okay, wouldn't be surprised for us to kind of test this 20 to 28 level. It only had 400K volume this time around. So it only had 400K volume. If you look over here, just upload this, come up here. Let's look at the weekly chart. This is an old stock that we've traded before. Okay, it did have a reverse split, but if you notice here, okay, you have a little bit of a break. If it does break above this 20, 21 level, okay, you could see a nice move up here to about 0.0035 to 0.006. So it's just a stock to kind of look at. Okay, it is in a little bit of a wedge right here. Okay, so you kind of want to keep an eye on this just in case you have an opportunity to buy it. Any questions? Any questions on anything that we've covered? Any questions? Any questions on anything that we've covered? Do you have any stocks that you wanted to speak about, mention? Okay, no questions. Okay, the Cove. If you notice here, I know some traders are in the Cove. Okay, this is a stock that kind of tested that 0006. Did have a little bit of a bullish reversal here. Watch that 0006 support here on the Cove. It did kiss that 0006 level, and now what you're noticing is you're setting up a little bit of a pattern here. Okay, so if you notice here, this is a line of symmetry pattern, and that 0006 level has held. Okay, this is a stock that can potentially break above this level. So watch that 0006 here on the Cove. If you noticed last week, the UAMM, that was a stock that we spoke about, and that stock was just holding levels for quite some time and then just had a nice bounce. So I want traders to kind of keep an eye on the Cove here at that 0006 level. With that said, okay, anyone who joined for the year and hasn't received their coin or their t-shirt, just email me at radiosilentplay.com. Okay, or I'm sorry, radiosilentplay@gmail. If you didn't receive the coin and the shirt, just send me an email here at radiosilentplay@gmail.com. Make sure that you guys get it. Okay, make sure that you have the mobile app downloaded. Okay, on your mobile app, whether you have Google Android Play or you have the Apple iTunes. Okay, you want to make sure that's where I'll send the triggered stock immediately. Okay, and then also make sure that if you're not following us at RSP Premium at Twitter, that is our Twitter feed. That is the premium Twitter. Also, if you don't have a mobile phone that's or an application, or the application is not working for you, just text the word lowercase Radio Silent Play, and you're going to text that to 84483. Okay, and then you'll get that message sent to your phone. Okay, with that said, thank you for joining me today on the weekly watch list. I apologize for going very, very quickly. If there are no more questions, okay, that is the end of our meeting. If you're looking for that PDF of the options, if you want to start trading options or you want to join our options room, just make sure that you send me a private message via GroupMe. I'll add you to the GroupMe chat. It's a totally separate chat room than the OTC. Okay, I will send you a PDF so you understand how to trade options. Later this week, we will be attempting to do go-to meetings if I do see a stock to show you why I'm picking the stock, okay, whether it's an option, small cap, or an OTC. So just be ready on that for those guys that are trading on with us in the GroupMe chat room. Okay, with that said, everyone have a good night. Okay, Bulls is actually sending ESPI. This is ticker symbol ESPI. See if I think I have a chart for that. I think we've traded. I don't know if we traded it, but it was a stock that okay, there we go. Yeah, I actually like this stock. ESPI is a stock that I think it's a pretty good stock, and this is a stock that I've been wanting to kind of put on the radar for a while. If you notice here, okay, you do have some accumulation here on the ESPI. This is a weekly chart. Okay, but what I notice here is that you're right at this lines of symmetry trade. Okay, I do like this stock here. If you notice, every time it hits this lower trend line, you'll see a nice bounce. And you're talking about a big bounce because this was a stock that right here was trading at the lows, okay, of about 0.01. And you saw a huge move here to 6 cents. Okay, if you notice here, okay, you tested a low here at 0.005 and then you saw a huge move here to about 0.0175. I do like these low share structure type stocks. If you notice here again, you actually hit this low here at that 0.004 level, and then you saw a huge move here to that 0.001, that 0.01 level. Okay, and now you're trading here in a channel here at the lows, and you actually tested this 0.0012 level. Okay, any close above this 21-day moving average here at 21 to 23 is going to give an opportunity. Looking at the level 2 on this, I've noticed that the stock is significantly low share structure. If you come over here to the ESPI, okay, I'm pretty sure that the share structure is pretty low. And the good thing about it is OTC pink current. Okay, if you look at the average volume, not much volume, but with that said, this is a type of play that can be group played. Okay, average volume is 151,000. You saw a volume of 241,000 recently. If you look here at the company profile, you're going to notice that it only has a float of 74 million. Okay, outstanding shares of 237 million, 350 million. This is an oil and gas service company headquartered in Woodlands. If we come over here, and well, over here it says it has an error, but I think this could be a good play here if you start accumulating. It doesn't really have news, but at the same time, I do like the chart here on the ESPI. This is a type of stock that you can add at or near range, and you could put a buy, set, and forget. And what you're looking for is a potential break of this 0.0034 level. This is actually this 0.0034. It'll be the line in the sand, or what I call the scene of the crime, because every time it hits this level, it actually bounces pretty well. So I think you do have upside on the ESPI. If you're getting into the ESPI, okay, look for that 0.0012 to 0.0015 buy zones. If you do see that the stock has, let's say, if it's a little bit of a spread, I wouldn't even mind adding 0.0025 to about 0.0035. And the reason I say this is because this is a low type share structure stock. And if you notice back here, okay, traders were buying this stock, and this stock was going from this range, this 0.004 range to 0.012 range. So you're talking about basically, a 300% move here. Okay, so that's a 300% move, and you'll be trading above 21 and 8-day moving average. So this is a type of stock that could be a great group play. If you notice here, when it traded at 0.01, okay, the biggest rally move was 0.01 to 0.06. So you're talking about a 500% move from that level. And then this was a really, really significant move here, which was a low of 0.005. Oh, I'm sorry, 0.004, and then it hit a high at this range, and it hit a high here at 0.0175. So these are pretty big moves here on the ESPI. This is a stock that I guess if it triggers a probability entry, I will send out. So I think it's a good eye for bulls. Good pick. I mean, this was a stock that I was actually looking at. I just never really posted it. I was actually waiting for this thing to kind of trigger or hit our entry zone. Any other questions? Any other questions on any stocks? There is the PJet as well. The PJet I do like. It's a stock that I feel is going to be a good opportunity. I actually have bids here from 10 to 13, and I haven't filled. The stock closed at 15. It saw a low of 13, but I did not fill on this trade. If you notice here, the last move, you saw this stock hit that low of 12, and then it hit that high of 0.0098. NERG, NERG. Well, the NERG, the issue with that is that it does have a huge share structure. I don't know what the share structure is. I think that NERG share structure right now is I think 60 billion, 60 billion shares, if I'm not mistaken. Can anybody confirm the NERG authorized share count? Okay, over here I don't have that. The authorized shares over here says 250 million, but I think it was on filings that it had unlimited. Okay, see, Pennymaster says 6.5, so it has 6.5 million billion AS. Okay, this is significant. Can a stock still move from that level? Yeah, it can, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you understand that this has a 6.5 billion AS. Okay, for the ACTL, I do like the ACTL. This is a stock that actually triggered. I didn't post it on the setups because this is just a stock that has triggered for us. I did trigger this on a 50% retrace at 0005. What I didn't like about the trade was that the stock was bid hit pretty strongly. It does have a low share structure. They posted recent filings. They were talking about, I believe it was, I think it was like 85 million common stock, and I think maybe like 80 million float, and it just looked good, but there's been a lot of selling. So traders that are holding ACTL, I do like that ACTL here at that 00056 level. That's where I added. Okay, I do think that this is a 50% retrace from that previous 00910 level. Okay, but you want to make sure that you practice patience with this one. This one may take a little bit of time. The other one is the CRQE. I actually got filled here at that 0007 after we lost that 14 support. So we did lose that 14 support here. Okay, so now we're going 50% retrace from that level. So that's going to leave us somewhere around that 0007. And if you notice here, we actually hit a low of 0006. So you want to make sure that you keep an eye on this. You are oversold here, but at the same time, there are some shares being traded. If you want to put in a bid on the CRQE, okay, simply place your bid here at that 0006.7 level, and then simply place your stop. Place a stop close below that 0.006. No, I'm sorry, 0.07 two times. And why do I say that? Because we kissed 6, but we never closed below 7. So I would place my stop here below that 7 level, because I actually added here at 0007. So my stop close is going to be a close below 7 two times. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions on any other trades? Any questions on any other trades right now? Okay, if there aren't any more questions, okay, just have a good night, and be ready for next week. Okay, should have a good trading week next week. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a good night.